week number 4 of a one-day job. Yeah, that's right. Valve springs and head studs ended up turning into a 4-day job because I've been waiting for parts to do all the timing assembly. One of the timing guides ended up having a slight little issue, so let's quickly show you guys that. I ended up taking off the entire front cover of the Barra, obviously doing valve springs, head studs. They're all done now. They're all ready to go back in. However, this was everyone's main concern, or also my main concern, was this right here. That right there is a timing chain guide. This holds the chain, and then where the tensioner sits, it pushes it in and out depending on how loose the chain gets over time. And but yes, as you guys can see, that rubber piece there pretty much almost falling off already. It's actually missing an entire section of rubber at the very top there, to the point where the chain has actually been rubbing through the metal there. With high K barras, these are very common issues. They just snap over time. My old XR6 had the same issue, and I'm just like, screw it. It's all right. It's centered on the dyno, 620 horsepower. The thing loved it. But at the end of the day, it's something that probably should have been addressed. So because I did this pretty much Boxing Day, or the day after Boxing Day, I found this issue. I'm like, there's no way I'm getting parts this quick, and this is going to turn into like a freaking garage ornament for probably about 2 weeks. But lo and behold, Barra The World exists. Mez from Barra The World is an absolute madman, and I've been messaging him back and forward in regards to a few little things, and he's like, just swing past, just come grab a timing kit. I'm like, okay, all right, sweet. Atomic heavy duty timing kit. I picked up this thing like 2 days later, and it was the 30th or something ridiculous of December, and he just had it sitting on the shelf ready to go, as well as a brand new Ford tensioner. So absolutely stoked at all that. So yes, Mez was like, look, whilst you're in there, you may as well do it. So there we go, brand new Ford tensioner as well. The only thing he didn't have was one of the billet chain rings, but doesn't really matter too much. And then these right here are the things that I am most interested in. This is 2 brand new chain guides that we definitely need. Now this one here, I'm pretty sure, no, it's this one here that we need. Rightio, so as you guys can see, that is what the top of the chain guide is supposed to look like, and it like feeds into this little bit right here. Yes, that is what that is supposed to look like. Mine is missing a lot of it. So I may also find that this thing had mad chain rattle and I didn't even know. So either way, the Atomic heavy duty timer kit is going to be an absolute necessity. Now there's a few people that had a few concerns in regards to me running an Atomic timing chain, and it was mainly due to the tensioner, the Atomic tensioner. Everyone has sort of got a bit of a bad name from Atomic via the tensioner. With pretty much everyone I've spoken to, this is a go-to kit, but always use a genuine Ford tensioner. The other massive benefit that I saw everyone talking about with the timing chains as well, see if I can pick these 2 out right beside it, but I don't know if you guys can see, but inside that packaging right there, you can see that the links on this chain are much thicker than the ones that are originally on the car. So it's going to be a huge upgrade. It's going to future-proof the car. Very, very happy. It's going to last another 100, 200,000 Ks. I don't really know how long. Well, these are supposed to last forever. But yes, very stoked. Brand new timing chain, brand new timing kit. And then, yeah, there's a few things that are also going on in regards to the timing cover as well. So I'm going to quickly run through with you guys as to taking that thing off, because I scoured the internet for someone that was going to give me some information in regards to taking off the timing cover, and everyone just sort of does it in the videos and then magically the cover's off. I also did the same thing and didn't film it, but I'm going to show you guys some tips in regards to getting the timing cover off. So the timing cover is a huge issue with trying to get off the car. There's a few things you need to do. Of course, you need to undo all the bolts that are around it. You don't need to take the water pump off. The water pump can stay in there, which is absolutely awesome. You do need to remove the harmonic balancer and the nut as well. So first of all, first issue that I had was the harmonic balancer. I couldn't undo because this is an auto car and it was just slipping on the torque converter, which is the story of my life right now. So pretty much what happened is I got a breaker bar, I put a 21mm socket on it, and I literally started the car. That is the easiest way that everyone has said to do so. Now I could have had a brace or something similar that could have like locked onto the harmonic balancer and then undone it, and that's obviously not the most ideal way, but it ended up getting done. The bolt is loose. Am I going gonna know how to tighten it back up. Wouldn't have a clue. That's why I have a special guest coming today. We'll talk about him later. The next thing was trying to remove the harmonic balancer. Now, these balancers are a little bit different from standard balancers, and I'll quickly show you guys that as well. So this balancer right here, as you guys can see, I believe that one there is the back, mine the other half of the Evo harmonic balancer, which is coming in another video. But they don't have any like things to thread in like a regular harmonic balancer puller. So, good mate of mine ended up having one of these lying around. I'm going to quickly link you guys down below to his Instagram account. But yes, ended up getting a G&G Technics balancer puller, which is exactly what you need to remove these things. You can do like a deshackle method or anything, but so with getting the timing cover off, there's a few things you want to keep note of. First of all, it's virtually impossible to do it without these things. Now, this is a little trick I picked up from the master Gene, but pretty much what you do is there's two dowels on either side of the timing cover. And what you can do is it's virtually impossible to remove the front cover with all the RTV and everything else that's on there with the dowels still attached. People break timing covers and they're quite hard to find nowadays. So, oh no, here he is. The cameo from the man himself. So Gene had a great idea of removing the timing cover with these right here. Here are your two dowels that'll go into the actual, into the block itself and then into the timing cover. So what you can actually do, obviously the bolts go straight through them, so they've already got huge holes in them. You can actually run a easy out into them and it will just basically bind onto them. And then you just get a pair of multi-grips and rip them straight out. So that's the easiest way that I was able to do that, and so it's definitely worth it. So after that, pretty much got the entire cover off, and there's a lot of cleaning to do. There's a lot of goop, so let's get straight into that. I'm also going to paint the cover as well, paint it nice and bright silver, so it should be really nice. So thank you, Gene. Appreciate that. No worries. Thanks, Gene. Alright, this was very tedious, but I've got pretty much all the gasket maker off all around the entire front of the engine. And then down there, I've also painted up that little thing right there as well. Make it all nice and pretty. I've got the new half moon seal in there as well, and I put a little bit of gasket maker just around the bottom. Apparently these are a really big pain, and the front timing cover is very, very common for doing leaks. Gene and I were speaking about it this morning, and apparently it's just it's a never-ending constant battle with all of these gaskets right here. So either way, we're gonna goop up the front cover, we're gonna chuck it back in the car. Pretty much once that's done, we can then get all of the coil pack. We can get the cover on, coil packs in, everything else ready to go. I'm still debating whether I want to paint the coil cover or not, but we'll work it out. We'll see how we go. Timing cover is now back on the car. So went through, gooped it all up. Very, very nervous as to whether that's going to seal or not. I'm pretty sure it will. But either way, everything's all timed up. Everything's perfect. Gonna chuck the balancer back on now. And then I actually painted up my rocker cover just over there, just with some brake color paint because it was really horrible and faded. I did an absolutely terrible job at that. So if anyone has a Barra rocker cover lying around, please let me know. So I really want to try and get one so I can make it look a little bit nicer. We'll do a proper paint job. I just painted up with some blue we had lying around, but yeah, hopefully it looks half decent. It looks like the F6 blue. I'm pretty happy about that. But either way, everything's back in. Quickly chuck the harmonic balancer back on, but yeah, everything's looking really nice and pretty. Rightio guys, that is everything together. All the belts and everything are back on. The only thing we have left is the rocker cover. And it just so happens that I had some caliper paint lying around, so now I have a semi-glossy cover, which looks pretty cool. It's like a really deep blue. Pretty happy about that. But yeah, I'm gonna slap that back on the car tomorrow morning, and then we'll give it a test run, fire it up. I've spun the engine over, 1 rotation of the crank, no issues whatsoever, so fingers crossed, everything's all gonna play game. Started up. Gene did tell me it might run a little bit rough to begin with, but we'll see how we go. And then once it runs, it starts, then we can get into the turbo stuff, or the fuel pump. I'm not quite sure, whichever one works. Alright guys, well, it is the next day. We put everything else back on, and it is finally time to start the car after doing the valve springs, the head studs, and the timing chain and guides and everything else along those lines. That rhymed, that was it. Nothing can prepare me for this moment. I'm just gonna turn the key. I'm gonna double check my rope real quick. Turn the key, and should just fire up. Now Gina's let me know that apparently these do like to start a little bit rough, because it's obviously been sitting for a while. There's no oil in the lifters and anything else as well. So it might run a little bit rough for a little bit. I also have no coolant in the system at the moment. So yeah, we'll see how we go. I can't run it for too long because it's got no water. But yeah, we'll turn it on, see how we go. She's purring. Didn't even run rough for a second. I'm hearing no timing chain rattle. I'm hearing no piston to valve issue. I'm seeing bad gas struts, but I'm seeing no issues at all. So good. That high pitched whistle is just that turbo there singing along. It's gonna take off in a second eventually. All right, we'll turn it off before it overheats.